This is Joe Biden. Again, this is from many years ago, but he has said the same thing
over and over
again. Let's see. All right.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make. Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel to protect her interest in the region. The United States would have to go out and invent an Israel.
He's like, let me say that again.
He's like, I'm going to keep saying this thing that you should be horrified by.
Like, what the fuck? I mean, although the U.S. is very well acquainted with settler colonialism, so I mean, sure.
And here he is recently.
Yeah, and I've often said, Mr. President, if there were not an Israel, we'd have to invent one.
Like,
he's not done saying it.
Also, I like how that started with that's the best $3 billion we spend. Like, clearly, the money that is required for healthcare or protecting the environment or education, it's like, fuck all that. The best money that we spend is perpetuating apartheid in Israel. Boom. Like, what the fuck?
Well, and he's saying so clearly that the U.S. needs Israel as an outpost in the region to control other states. I mean, this is what he's discussing is straight up imperialism, and he should be ashamed, but instead he says it again and again throughout the years.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like you know that one-hit wonder, a musician that has to keep playing the same song over and over. He like said one thing, and Zionists really liked it, and so he's like, "That's the quote I'm going with." Like, okay.
Let's see here. Here's Steven Semler giving us.
Steven Semler does great work. If y'all, we share it frequently on the show. But you can check out his work on what is that, Substack? Yeah,
Substack. But who is it that reposts his stuff a lot? Is it radindiemedia.com? If you guys need news outside the corporate media, go to radindiemedia.com every day. It's the website we created that is completely free for you to see all kinds of news outside your corporate media.
So Semler does a great job of showing with visuals the cost, and not just in terms of money, but of military aid. And this one is about military aid to Israel since the 40s. So since the 40s, I can't remember if it's 1940. If you go back, I don't know, but 1947. Basically, Israel has received $124 billion in military aid from the United States. Oh, since 1946. That, what? Like, Jesus Christ. And I know, like, it's so hard to wrap your head around these numbers. Like, I don't know what $124 billion means. Like, I mean,
it's very difficult to even imagine that amount of money.
So anyway, so this is that, like, monetary evidence. And of course, there's the propaganda support for Israel, which is incredibly detrimental as well, which we've already discussed. But the actual monetary aid for Israel, hundreds of billions of dollars, it is a direct support for this apartheid state. And it makes the United States complicit. And so it means that we as Americans have a large role to play in ensuring the end of Israel as an apartheid state. And that, because I think a lot of times we feel like, oh, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I'm all the way over here. Yeah, you are over here. We are over here. And we, as children of empire, of the largest empire the world's ever seen, that perpetuates colonialism and imperialism and violence, the violence that goes with that across the globe, we have a huge responsibility and opportunity to ensure that those structures of oppression are torn down. So I'm not going to sit here and say, call your member of Congress, because your member of Congress doesn't give a shit about you. I think we've established that in the past. I'm saying that we need, just like anything else, we need to make it untenable to have any other stance, just like they did in South Africa. It has to be untenable for the so-called West to support the apartheid regime any longer. And so that's what we have to do. We have to engage in direct action. There was an action today up in Massachusetts at Elbit Systems, which is one of the, if not the largest weapons manufacturers for Israel. That's the kind of shit that needs to happen. And the bucking of the propaganda, whether that be the beheading babies bullshit or the this was totally unprovoked. No, it was not unprovoked. This is 75 years of ethnic cleansing, if not, like what we're seeing now, outright genocide. And so I think that it's important that we recognize our role as Americans, and also American Jews, if they're fellow American Jews listening and watching, that we have this opportunity and this responsibility to break this connection and this vital lifeline of support to Israeli apartheid.